we're obviously sitting right now at your grandfather's apartment here in Belgrade. You've lived through two wars, the latter of which being 1999 when NATO starts bombing Serbia. The last 78 days, you and your family were living on a second floor apartment at the time.
Yes.
What do you remember seeing? What do you remember hearing?
This is the apartment where, as I said at the beginning, I used to spend a lot of time with my brothers, with my family, with my parents, with my aunt and her family. So it was a lot of people, particularly in '99 when we had bombings, as you mentioned. We did live in the apartment that is about 500 feet away from here. We would come always to this apartment and always to this building every single night for God knows how many nights, but particularly 15, 20 nights of bombing because our building did not have a shelter. So this building had a shelter, underground shelter. So it was just a horrifying experience for everyone. Particularly for children that were, we did not really realize what is happening. Why are the planes flying over our city and dropping bombs? Who does that? And but at the same time, it's unfortunate to say that, but after a month, we just really stopped reacting to it. I remember I was celebrating my 12th birthday party at the tennis club Partizan where I grew up, and during the happy birthday song there was a plane just flying over. You can't really comprehend how horrifying and scary that experience is and how helpless you are. You are here on the ground and someone is flying over and just dropping bomb in a second and just disappearing.
What about when you're outside one time and you slip?
Oh yeah, that was the first, I think it was the first or second night or something like that of bombing. And so we were just about to fall asleep again. And then a huge explosion happened. And then my mom, she stood up very quickly and she hit the heaters and with her head and she felt unconscious. And so there was us crying because of the bombs and us crying because mom is not reacting. And my dad is there and just, what is happening, And so luckily my dad manages to help my mom get back to herself normal as much as she could. And we collect our stuff quickly and just take the necessities and we go out. There was no street lights, everything was shut off and it was so loud that we could not hear each other. We were very close to each other, but we could not, even if you scream, they don't hear you. My dad was carrying my brothers and my mom was running with stuff, and then I slipped and I fell. And as I turned around, I looked towards the building and I see this, stealth plane just flying and just dropping things, and then the ground is shaking. And then, of course, that's one of the most traumatic experience and images that I had in my childhood that stayed with me till this day. And we were lucky. I think our families, that we did not lose anybody that is very close to us. There are a lot of people that lost very close people in their lives, and that's a different level of suffering and different level of trauma. I can't even imagine the pain that I had to bear to go through that.
There was a quote that you gave that I thought was interesting, where you said, "You can carry the hatred, the revenge, the betrayal, the feeling of anger towards those who did that to you, to your people, to your country. But you can also use them as a tool to make you believe, to make you stronger. That's what I've learned to do." How so?
Yes, it's interesting. I think I remember saying that. And at that time, I was still upset. I was still angry. But I use that in a way that fuels me to be successful in tennis. But that changed. I really don't have this emotion anymore. When I say you will not forget, I will not forget, and a lot of people will never forget what happened. But at the same time, I don't think it's good for anybody to be stuck in the emotion of hatred an emotion of anger, rage, because someone destroyed your home and people and killed your close one. I mean, I can only imagine, you know, again, the amount of pain that you feel when you lose your close one. You know, how it is possible that you know, big countries come together and bomb a small country with helpless people on the street and just destroy everything. I couldn't understand that. There is no justification for war. There is no justification for bombing, for killing somebody, for taking away the home. I mean, this is, you know, an ultimate cruelty, you know. And that has made me and everybody in Serbia very angry. And the scars of these emotions, of this anger, still are today present in everybody. But I worked on myself, I must say, and on those emotions to forgive, because you need to forgive. Finally, how can you be fueled more by anything but by love? And love is forgiveness. And that's my philosophy of life. And as hard as it might be, you know, but at the end of the day, you can, and I think you should forgive, because you have to move on. You know, if you're stuck in that emotion, what are you going to make out of your life? I mean, it's always going to hold you back. It's always going to hold you down, not just professionally, but privately, emotionally. You know, it's hard. It's really hard. These people in Serbia have suffered a lot, you know, in the last 100 years. In the First World War, over 1 million Serbian people died, you know. And but look, that's a kind of a destiny, I guess, that we as people have here in this region. But I still believe that can make us stronger. I really appreciate everything that I experienced in life, because I know that particularly those times have made me so resilient and so strong, but also so appreciative of everything that I have in life today.
You said your greatest achievement is your open mind.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you need to have open mind in order to forgive, in order to move on. I mean, if you have a closed mind, I mean, it's really hard to learn anything. Believe in love, believe in this universal force that binds us together, that unites us all. And when you open your heart and when you open your mind, then you are, you know, more prone to improve and love and bring people closer and understand. I think most of the conflicts in wars that happen today is because there's no understanding of really, like, there's a lot of religious wars in the history of humankind, because there's no understanding. It's because I'm better than you, and you know, my God is better than your God, or whatever it is. It's like, you know, I don't think that's the future that we want for our humankind on this planet.